The day the Athens mother and realty office manager went missing, her daughter told police that her mother sent nearly $2,400 to her through Venmo, along with a message saying, "They are not going to let me go. Love you."
Hello everyone, welcome to Mysterious Mariam. Debbie Collier was born on September 2nd, 1963 in Oneonta, Alabama. She was a loving wife, mother, sister, grandmother, and a friend. After a long career at Athens first, she went to work at Carriage House Realty, a local real estate agency in Athens. She was a fun-loving Bulldogs fan and an overall down-to-earth person. She was living with her husband, Steve, in a small yellow home on the edge of the town. The joys of her life were her grandkids and growing various plants. She had a son, Jeffrey Bearden, and a daughter, Amanda Bearden. On September 10, 2022, Debbie left her home in Athens, Georgia, in her rented Chrysler Pacifica and did not return. Her husband, Stephen Collier, called 911 and reported her missing around 6 p.m. that evening. The same day, on September 10th, Debbie's 36-year-old daughter, Amanda Bearden, informed authorities that her mother sent her a $2,385 Venmo payment along with a cryptic message. "They're not going to let me go. Love you. There is a key to the house in the blue flower pot by the door." Amanda also told police that when Debbie left the house in her rented SUV, she only took with her debit card and her driver's license. Everything else was left at home. Police tracked her rented vehicle's satellite radio, which led them to US 441 near Victory Home Lane. At around 5 p.m., Habersham County Sheriff's deputies located Debbie's black Chrysler. Athens police notified Debbie's daughter, and a short time later, Amanda Bearden arrived in a hysterical state at the scene. She started screaming that the van belonged to her mother. Police searched the nearby Chattahoochee County National Forest with the help of cadaver dogs, which led them to the body of 59 years old Debbie Collier about a quarter mile into the woods. She was naked, laying on her back and grasping a small tree with her right hand. Her stomach was badly burned, 80% of her body had second and third degree burns, and she was lying just a few feet from the site of a small fire. There were several items found near her body. Investigators started looking into Debbie's activities in last 24 hours. At around 2:17 p.m., cameras outside a school in Tallulah Falls captured Debbie's black Pacifica traveling northbound on Georgia State Route 15. Debbie was then pictured on CCTV visiting a Family Dollar store alone at 2:55 p.m. in Clayton, Georgia, wearing a blue skirt and a replica University of Georgia football jersey. She purchased a rain poncho, reusable tote bag, refillable torch lighter, 7.5 feet by 9.5 feet tarpaulin, and paper towels before leaving the store at 3:09 p.m. After exiting the store, Debbie was captured on surveillance footage sitting inside her car parking lot from around 3:09 p.m. to 3:19 p.m. That was the last time she was seen alive. As mentioned earlier, Debbie's daughter Amanda initially told investigators that her mother had left her purse and phone at home. However, she was spotted carrying her purse in the footage from the Family Dollar store. Her purse and her phone were also found at the site where her body was found. Initially, the incident was treated as a possible kidnapping and a homicide. Debbie's death was quickly ruled a homicide, with police describing it as a personal and targeted murder and not a random act of violence. Police concluded that Debbie died sometime between 3:19 p.m. on September 10th when she left the dollar store in her car and 12:44 p.m. on September 11th when law enforcement found her body in the ravine after spotting her vehicle close by. On September 30th, investigators held their first press conference on the case, with lead investigator and Habersham County Sheriff's Chief Deputy giving an update on the investigation. They said Debbie may have been the victim of a targeted killing. There is nothing that has come from this investigation that would support the theory that either this was a random act of violence or that there is a killer in the area. At this time, the investigation is leading us to the proposition that Mrs. Collier's death was personal and targeted. Several theories were raised about what had happened to her, with authorities suggesting the incident could have been drug-related. Meanwhile, it emerged that the Venmo payment that Amanda received from Debbie was close to the sum that Amanda's boyfriend, an amateur MMA fighter Andrew Giekirk, earned in the probation fines. The couple had moved back in with Debbie just 2 days earlier after returning to Georgia from Maryland. Days after the discovery of Debbie's body, Debbie's daughter appeared on a podcast, Crime on the Record, where she said she believed her mother had killed herself. She said her mother had shared some key intimate things and was giving away things in the days before her death. And the last time she saw her mother alive, she noticed tears in her eyes. She said, "I had never seen her that sad." Amanda Bearden said that her mother was dealing with the stuff that she didn't want to burden her with. A neighbor told the media that she heard a commotion coming from Debbie's home the night before she vanished, and the family frequently engaged in screaming and fighting. It also came to light by Debbie's sister that Debbie had been involved in a car accident when a can of paint fell from a moving vehicle and struck Debbie's car 1 month before her death with a man who was out on parole. The man had reportedly begged her not to call the police about the incident, as driving was a violation of his parole. There were several red flags in the case. The amount of money that was sent to Amanda, who just randomly sends $2,385. Why not $2,500 or $2,000? The night before Debbie went missing, she got into a fight with her daughter and made her leave the house. And who is the "they" from Debbie's Venmo memo? Can't it be a staged memo in an attempt to misguide the investigation? Debbie's son, Jeffrey Bearden, however, had several concerns regarding the investigation. He didn't know why her mom was up there when she had a prolonged back injury and was taking medication for that, and it didn't make sense to him why she was in Clayton. Jeffrey Bearden told local news station Alive 11 that he is suspicious of acquaintances of her sister who had moved in with their mother 2 days before her death. He stated, "I do not think my sister has the capacity to hurt my mom. She was my mom's lifeline, but I don't trust the people that my sister hangs out with, and that's my concern." He called for the sheriff to resign over his handling of the case. Authorities conducted at least 26 search warrants and subpoenas were issued, and over 20 interviews with family and witnesses. Till now, authorities concluded that Debbie's death was self-inflicted. The bombshell twist in the case came more than 2 months after Debbie's body was found around from her home in Athens, Georgia on November 17. The state medical examiner's office determined the manner of death after an autopsy revealed the 59-year-old died from inhalation of superheated gases, thermal injuries, and hydrocodone intoxication. Bizzare County Deputy Coroner said that it had been pretty evident all along that Debbie started a small fire that charred her stomach and caused her to inhale smoke. However, they had been waiting for the final autopsy results to make a final determination. He said that it's pretty evident that she started the fire. That's it. Case closed. Well, closed for the authorities, but not for Debbie's family. They didn't have their closure yet. Debbie's family hired Dr. Michael Bearden to perform a private autopsy. Dr. Michael Bearden is a famed forensic pathologist hired by the families to perform private autopsies in high-profile cases. Spoke on the Debbie mystery on February 23, 2023. He believes that Debbie was likely murdered and said that her autopsy raised more questions than answers. The official autopsy conducted by the authorities concluded that the woman died from inhalation of superheated gases, thermal injuries, and a hydrocodone intoxication. She died in a flash fire as a melted gas can was found near her body. Dr. Michael found it odd that Debbie inhaled no soot or carbon monoxide, two materials that are found 99% of the time after a fire-related death, especially if the fire was self-inflicted. Despite the horrible condition her body was found in, both materials were absent in Debbie's body. Autopsy examination revealed thermal injuries of external body surface and of the windpipe, no deposited soot in the airway, and no significant elevation of blood carboxyhemoglobin. Dr. Michael said, from a forensic point of view, that would indicate that she was dead before the fire started. Georgia Bureau of Investigation wrote, the absence of soot and carboxyhemoglobin hemoglobin may be due to a sudden intense flash fire as well as the outdoor environment of the fire, about which Dr. Michael said it would have to be severely windy to blow away any carbon monoxide, which was unlikely given that Debbie was found in a densely wooded area. Dr. Michael pointed out that the levels of hydrocodone found in Debbie's system were higher than a normal therapeutic dose. By the way, Debbie was prescribed this medicine for her prolonged back injury, and Debbie's official autopsy did mention hydrocodone intoxication as one of her causes of death. Dr. Michael indicated that a little less than half of people would die if they experienced the level of hydrocodone found in Debbie's toxicology report. And if she did die from an overdose, there is still the lingering question of how the fire started. And if that's the case, her cause of death should have been hydrocodone overdose with post-mortem fire injuries. He also questioned the fact that Debbie was found naked, leading him to deduce that it was unlikely she died by suicide because you usually need clothing to set yourself on fire. She died before the fire. It would imply that at least one other person was in the woods with her. He stated, "I think the medical examiner doesn't understand what forensic pathology is." There are definitely several flaws in question in Debbie's death. I have already pointed out some of them already. Let's talk about a few more. The Venmo message sent to Amanda is one big question that remains in the case. Law enforcement's theory around the Venmo transaction was never explained, and it's unclear why Debbie stopped at a Family Dollar to buy a poncho, refillable torchlighter, paper towels, and a tote bag the day she disappeared. All of these items were found near Debbie's body. Then why she was found gripping the base of a small tree with her right hand and slightly downhill from the location where fire was set? Why was she naked when discovered? Police said Debbie was alone in the woods when she killed herself but haven't provided any proof for the claim. If she died before the fire, as Dr. Michael Bearden believes, it would imply that there was at least one other person with her who started that fire. I mean, why someone would kill themselves in such a horrific manner, and why she would send that note to her daughter with money right before she did it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Let's hope truth is going to come out soon. I will wrap today's video here. Do tell me in the comments down what do you think might be a logical explanation here. Drop a like if you found it interesting and subscribe for future videos. I will see you next time. Bye.